Good morning, everybody. Happy hump day. It is Wednesday, and thank you for joining me here on Crypto Coin Mindset. Really appreciate all of you. I can see you got people in the chat already. Let's go take a quick look while the notices about me going live are going out right now. So Automatic Beats in the house. Good morning, sir. Appreciate you. Chris Hanley, glad to see you. Yes, I am going to do my very best today. You guys will help with that conversation. Matter of fact, I'm hoping I've invited a few people that you guys already know and love. Jar, he did say he had a meeting, but he was going to try and join in late. FF and TCB, Brian from Tiny Crypto Blog. So I'm hoping that perhaps they will be able to join in as well. 100 Air in the house. Appreciate you being here, sir. Mike, welcome. Appreciate you. Good afternoon. Yes. AMB will melt faces. All right. I love it. I love it. I appreciate all you being here today. And for anybody who might be joining in, because it looks like we got a lot of people jumping in right now, appreciate that. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, tick that bell icon, click the all, and don't forget, smash that like. I can see I got some people on Facebook as well. Thumbs up, please. Appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. All right. Today we're going to be talking about how cryptocurrency potentially, well, you know what? I put in the title may affect the elections here 2024 in the U.S. Frankly, I'm of the mindset that will affect the elections in 2024. So we'll talk about that, talk about some of the candidates. But you know, and we're going to take a look at the overview of what I put together of how I think that crypto has already been a politicized issue here in the U.S. Through these regulation, through enforcement actions, because at the end of the day, the SEC isn't just operating arbitrarily, you know, in collusion with people like Elizabeth Warren. So we're going to get to all of that, but let's take a quick look at the markets, as always, to see what is going on in the markets. All right, so let's bring that up. Bam, there we go. You know what? Let me rearrange that a little bit so you guys can see it better. There we go. And I'm going to refresh that page so that we got the latest numbers. There we go. And I should probably put the not financial advice up there because some people, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, all right, Bitcoin. Look at this. Yesterday, when Jar and I were live for the Matrix Money podcast, Bitcoin was barely hanging on to that 61K mark. Today, 64,157. It's got an upshoot going on today. A lot of people believe that has to do with the CPI numbers that it just came in with inflation being lower than expected. I mean, I guess inflation will always come in lower than expected if you like eliminate stuff in the CPI numbers, like, oh, I don't know, food, coffee. Did you see that? They're pulling coffee out of the CPI numbers starting next month. Let's see, fuel, because who needs to eat? Who needs to drink coffee? Cheers, by the way. And who needs to put gas in their car so they can go to work? I know I'm talking craziness right here. Absolute craziness right here. Anyway, before I get off on a tangent already, let's keep going. Ethereum was below 3K yesterday and still is, although it's up a little bit. It was around, I think, 3,800 yesterday. 2,800 yesterday. And here we go, 2,950, up 2% in the last 24 hours. BNB looking pretty good, 576. Solana actually even looking pretty good. And we got it up overall 4% in the last 7 days, but 5% of that is in the last 24 hours. And I'm going to look because I expect that, no, not yet. Oh, he must be slow to the, I know we have a lot of Solana fans, so I was looking for the messages to go and put it up on the screen, but we'll go back. XRP still in that 50-cent area, looking okay. Dogecoin back up over 15 cents, up 3.2% in the last 7 days, about 1.5% in the last 24 hours. Cardano, 44 cents. Still, I think it could go down a little bit, in my humble opinion. Let's see. Avalanche looking pretty good, even though it's up over 5% in the last 24 hours at 34.05. Tron still at that 12.5-cent mark, looking pretty good. BCH, again, I like it for what it's meant to be. Use it to pay for shit and save your Bitcoin. $444. Chainlink looking mighty good. Frankly, any buy under $20 to me is good for Chainlink. And I mean, look at this, 1344 for Link right here. So yeah, here we go. Solana to Mars. I love it. And Mike, Solana, please make me a rich guy. I like it. Yes, exactly. I'm sure Jar is hoping for it too. If you guys want, you can ask him when he gets here, because I do expect he'll be here. But let's keep going real quick. Excuse me. So we can jump in here. Matic, looking pretty good, 67 cents. Litecoin, again, another one. Use it for what it's meant to be used for. Buy shit and save your Bitcoin. $80.11. What else we got here? Fetch AI, if you're into the AI thing, still looking pretty good at $2.16. Uniswap holding steady. I mean, even since the beginning of the FUD. I'm sorry, that's part of what we're going to talk about today. And one of the items I'm going to show you when we flip through some of my recap over the last 6 months of the crap that has been, just being tossed about by, excuse me, tossed about by, the U.S. various 3-letter agencies. I'm having coffee, but that may or may not have some Bailey's. Yes, Mike. Well, cheers. Although I can tell you definitively, this does not have Bailey's in it. Kind of a little sad about that. All right. And 100 Air saying, yeah, Jar has these diamond hands. Yeah. Exactly. He was for you got to for some of that upside down he is with regard to Solana. Now, Pepe, look at this. Look at this. Pepe's up 40% in the last 7 days, as part of, like we were talking about yesterday on the Matrix Money podcast, with the return of Roaring Kitty, and the jump on the stocks for GameStop and AMC. Meme coins, or some of the meme coins, have been the recipients of some of that pump, and Pepe has been one of them. Render is up 7% over the week, over $10, looking good. HBAR still a good buy if you ask me, in that 10-cent area, even though it's up about 2% in the last 24 hours. What else we got going here? Mutable X, $2.12, up about 2.5% overall. Filecoin, Deaton, great project, $5.58, almost back to when we started talking about it right around $5. Stellar looking pretty steady in that 10-cent area. Whiff, $3 even for Whiff. So, yep. If you're into the meme coin thing. Oh, I love it. Fix that issue now. We'll wait. I can't fix that issue even if I wanted to right now. I may or may not have already used it all. Anyway, so cheers. Okay, let's keep going a little bit longer here. Caspa, we have almost 12 cents, up 4.5% over the week. What else we got here? Monero. We're going to touch on Monero a little bit because, I mean, let's be honest, all this enforcement action is basically primarily, well, not primarily, but partially been against privacy. I mean, we've seen the final sentencing for the Tornado Cash case yesterday. Basically, they're slowly criminalizing privacy And yeah, that really needs to be challenged. I'm sorry, it just does. And part of why I keep saying that things like privacy coins are going to be a huge necessity by next year. And Monero coming in up almost 5% at 134.48, the biggest of the privacy coins. Rune looking pretty good. You know, I like Thorchain Rune for those swaps, making it easy. I think they're going to lead the way with DeFi, up over 5% today and over 4% for the last 7 days. We'll go a little bit further and then we'll call it here. Gala, you know, Gala down over 5% in the last 7 days. That's one of the items you can vote for this Friday that we can dollar cost average into on Crypto on the Rock, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Hopefully you all will be joining me then. You know what? I think we're going to call it there. The markets for the most part are red today, but you know, all things being equal, still got some good steady action. If you look into DCA, guess what? It might be a good idea to do some DCA while stuff is still down. Just saying. Okay. Oh, and wait, let's say this hand right here. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Old guy, interwebs. So there you go. All right. So today we're going to talk about, and like I said, I'm hoping that I expect that Jar is going to be chiming in a little bit later. I'm hoping FF is going to jump in. Brian, I know he is really not available at this time slot, but hopefully he'll be able to chime in, even if it's just in the chat. So watch for those guys. But today we're going to be talking about how crypto has become, and in my opinion, will continue to be a topic of conversation and a point of influence with regard to the elections in 2024. And I mean, we've already started seeing it, not only through different actions and so on in the cryptocurrency space, such as the enforcement actions I mentioned. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let me bring up, I did a quick rundown of about the last 6 months, because if I were to go back to all of the enforcement action over, let's say, even just the last 3 years, or, you know, in the cryptocurrency space, we'd be here just going through that. So let me bring this up and let's just kind of flip through it real quick before I get into what I have set here for today. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me just bring that up full screen and get my head out of the way there. And what I'm doing is I'm going to show you some of the thumbnails that I put together for the lives. Now, this is just live streams that I did with regard to the actions that are being taken by various 3-letter agencies here in the US against the cryptocurrency space. This first slide was about 6 months ago. I put it out when the SEC sued Kraken and the DOJ had just settled with Binance and CZ and all that kind of stuff. And again, very important actions in the space. And they are, you know, again, SEC under the jurisdiction of Elizabeth Warren, DOJ under the jurisdiction of the FJB administration. And no way you're telling me that they weren't following someone's lead and or direction. So anyway, again, I started there. And then right after that, remember, Elizabeth Warren put together her anti-crypto bill that basically would end up being a backdoor ban on cryptocurrency here in the US that was written by the Banking Association. And its co-sponsor, if you recall, during a fundraiser, he was saying he was basically reading some talking points about the bill. And you could tell just from the way he was talking, I mean, because that information is all out there. That's public information at this point. I believe it was the Digital Chamber of Commerce that ended up putting that information out. And at the end, he said, and that's all I know. Well, of course, that's all you know, because you don't know shit. But anyway, written by the Banking Association, and Warren puts out her anti-crypto bill. Then again, like we were talking about with regard to your privacy, my privacy being under attack, Binance ends up delisting Monero. And I also talked about how a lot of apps, and there's an increasing number of apps, and I highlighted some comments from Jameson Lopp from CASA, who were where we were talking about the increasing number of apps and sites blocking VPNs. Why is that? VPNs to help you maintain your privacy. And again, for those who are looking for a VPN, I use TorGuard, and there's a link to that in the description of this live stream. If you use that link, you're going to save 50% off for life on whatever you choose to use. So that was the next one. Then what honestly was a more positive live stream for me was when John Deaton decided he was going to run against Elizabeth Warren and challenge her for her Senate seat in Massachusetts. Finally, a pro-crypto advocate who is gonna hopefully unseat Elizabeth Warren. So that was actually a good live stream, but I had to put it in there because, again, politics. You got a pro-crypto candidate, a pro-crypto candidate running against an anti-crypto senator. This is definitely going to be a point of contention. I mean, there are lots of points of contention in the Massachusetts Senate race. However, I think this is going to be a major point of contention, and it would be very important to have John Deaton sitting in the Senate. So there was that live stream. And then, shortly after that, Warren was doing a fundraiser with some of her cronies, and they were basically slinging all kinds of mud at Deaton, picking on his book, Food Stamp Warrior, basically, saying he just considers himself a tough guy. He's a crypto bro, blah, blah, blah. And if you've read the book, you understand that that's not the case. But, when you're running scared, as I put here, or you're just, you can't speak about the merits of what you do. Because remember, Elizabeth Warren went to the U.S. Senate running on the fact that she was going to support the little guy. She was going to fight the banking industry. She was going to be the advocate for us against the Banking Association. And here we are, literally, 11 years later, 12 years later, and she's got the Banking Association writing her latest anti-crypto bill. So, again, vote Deaton if you're in Massachusetts. And I know I have a number of people who watch this live stream and my videos from Mass. So, got questions? Hit me up. You know how to reach me. All right. So then this next one was the SEC wanting $2 billion from Ripple, if you recall. $2 billion. Yeah, because, why not? I'll just pay the SEC $2 billion because, And then the DOJ going after KuCoin. It's just like, they just can't stop themselves. They just can't. So that was the next one. And I'm coming forward with these. So they're getting more and more recent as we go along. And then in this one, I tried to highlight the fact that we've got both sides of the coin, as I put here, with regard to support for cryptocurrency and good cryptocurrency legislation in Congress and the Senate. Because I was primarily highlighting the fact that Congressman McHenry was putting forward some pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin legislation in Congress, and he was talking about how the U.S. should be the leader when it comes to Bitcoin, and he is not wrong. And yes, 100 Air, I too miss KuCoin. I signed up for KuCoin like immediately when they opened, and I'll tell you what, they were like my favorite exchange to use, at least as far as centralized exchanges. The fees were great, but I get it. They don't want to deal with the U.S., even though, unfortunately, they are dealing with the U.S. regardless, even though, again, U.S. has no jurisdiction over them. But, since when does that matter? Anyway. Okay, next one was I started talking about the continued war on crypto, where the SEC, Gary Gensler, basically served Uniswap with a Wells notice. And that's why when we came by Uniswap in the CoinGecko a few moments ago, I was stopped to talk about how well their token is holding, given, all the FUD. And again, no jurisdiction. It's a freaking DeFi protocol. I just, again, throw shit against the wall, see what sticks. That's basically what they're doing. And Chris is chiming in about KuCoin. He says, KuCoin was my first, and he uses quote, sketchy exchange, but never had one issue. I don't know. I thought it was a great exchange. I mean, the UI got better with time. It was initially a little bit clunky, for lack of a better word, or that was my experience anyway. But even when I was using trading bots, I was using them via a KuCoin API, doing the trading there. I had no issues. I loved KuCoin. I am going to miss KuCoin, at least until they come back, once the US hopefully gets their shit together. And then more of war on crypto right here. This is much more recent with regard to the arrest of the founders of the Samurai wallet and by the DOJ, about the IRS putting up new reporting forms, basically in an attempt to subvert self-custody wallets. And last but not least, the FBI warning Americans to basically, you use KYC services or regulated services, otherwise we're coming for you, kind of thing. I don't want to rehash that. And finally, I did an entire live stream about crypto advocacy and how you and I can help to start promoting some positivity on a local, state, and even federal level with regard to advocating for cryptocurrency and the use of cryptocurrency and great cryptocurrency regulations on those levels. And I gave you information from Coin Center, who works more in the federal level, trying to grassroots legislation, that kind of thing, as well as the Digital Chamber of Commerce, which we're going to show you a couple of their tweets in a minute. I'm going to show you a couple of their tweets in a minute. And then the Satoshi Action Fund, who is mostly focusing on state legislatures and getting pro crypto legislation in at the state level. And I should probably bring that up because I came across, I think I saved it. Hold on, maybe I didn't. Hang on, I'm looking just to see. Maybe I didn't. Thought I did. Well, oh yeah, here it is. Hang on one second. I'm going to bring it up so I can show you. Joys of live stream. Appreciate your patience. Thank you very much. Boom. Okay, this was a tweet put out today by Dennis Porter. Do I have that? Okay, yeah, full screen. That's fine. And basically, he's talking about a bill protecting fundamental Bitcoin rights has been signed into law in the state of Oklahoma. And now I know there have been several states, and I've talked about them, I've shared them on Twitter, etc., who have been putting out pro crypto, pro Bitcoin, pro mining, pro self-custody type of legislation. And so like Oklahoma here is not the only one. Let's hit the highlights here. The right to self-custody, the right to mine Bitcoin, And then he's talking about donating and stuff. So I think it is important to know that, again, this is a political issue. Crypto is going to be one of the major points of contention, one of the major points, hopefully, that is going to help to elect pro-crypto legislators on all those levels, local, state, federal levels. So, and within the last, let's say 2 weeks, we've seen lots of that kind of information airing here, mostly in the federal level. And that's what I'm going to show you some of this stuff momentarily. But again, remember, it starts local. It starts with you and I hitting our local city councils, town boards, whatever it happens to be, depending on where you live in this country. And again, I know I've got people that are international watching this live stream, and I appreciate that very much. And take what I'm saying and relate that to your own election process and legislative process in the country or jurisdiction that you live in. But right now I'm focusing primarily on the United States, because you want to know what? I think that this coming election cycle here in November of 2024 is going to be a very important and very charged election, regardless presidential. I mean, I'm talking on all levels. So let me bring up the first piece that I have here, which 1 second. And you probably saw, if you are on Twitter, you saw a lot about this. But let's start with this here. The House overturns the SEC's anti-crypto guidance, and that was when Biden jumped on in there, basically saying, and I'm gonna veto it if it, blah 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 blah. Hold on, let me how about that? There we go. That's a little bit better. And you know what? So maybe we can get some kind of a idea by the time this live stream is over. I'm interested. For all of you who are watching the live stream, jump in the live chat. And if you're on Twitter, I know you can't access the live chat. Just stick it in the comments of this live stream, and I'll go check it out later. But for those of you who are watching the live stream, and those after watching, make sure you put it in the comments. Tell me, are you going to say, and are you going to vote with crypto as one of the forefront topics for who you're voting for? So if crypto is going to be maybe one of those top 3, top 5 items that you use to decide what candidate you're voting for, put a yes in the comments. If it's not, if crypto's not even on the radar because you feel that doesn't even get into the top 10 reasons why you're picking a candidate that you're voting for. And again, I'm talking local, state, federal, okay? Congress, president, the whole nine. Put a no. So yes, crypto is going to be one of those reasons that you're picking a candidate. No, crypto doesn't even make the cut. So I'd appreciate it if you throw that, your yes or no, into the answer and into the comments, excuse me. And 100 air right in first one right there. Oh yeah. Is that Bill? I'm in the Senate. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. Is that oh, sorry, 100 air, I put that one twice. Sorry about that. I would, but I don't vote for reasons that make sense to me. Electoral college dictates my vote, so I find it futile. Well, that's a probably constitutional debate for another time outside of this particular live stream. And you have the right not to vote. Welcome to the United States of America. I get it. And yeah, again, constitutional debate for another time. 100 Air saying, I'm going to reach out to the candidates individually to see if they will pump my bags. Oh, crap. I love it. I love it. Well, if they're saying yes, let me know, because I'm interested to then try to get my bags pumped as well. Anyway, um, and Chris is saying, yeah, I am a true degen. And listen, just because you have a different perspective on the electoral college and its function in the election process or whatever, I mean, that doesn't make you a degen. That makes you someone who's a free thinker and wants to otherwise debate whatever your beliefs are. And I'm going to guess, having talked to you before, knowing that you're not afraid of having your hearing the other end of the argument, Chris. So degen, no degen, as far as I see it. And Mike chiming in here. The objective of governments is to control us and and charge us for already taxed money. You ain't gonna hear no argument from me there, Mike. Everything that goes in favor of my freedom has my vote. Amen, brother. Amen. And then he puts in, but I'm not in the U.S. I get that, Mike, and I appreciate you being here. I know you're not in the United States, but still, again, apply this to where you do vote, where you do live, and again, you're not the only one that I know, for because I can see some of the people in here that is outside of the United States. So I get it. But anyway, this piece of legislation I have here, or this article about this piece of legislation I have here, where the House voted to overturn the bill. I think it was SAB something, right here, SAB 121. Basically, okay. Basically, the Republican Party Representative Mike Flood, let me just do this, who introduced the resolution, said SAB 121 was unfair for banks looking to custody crypto, as custodial assets are always considered off the books. And then again, basically, it wasn't Biden issuing this statement, because Biden can't even like change his pants. But basically, the Biden's office issuing, oh, we're going to veto that if it comes to his desk. And so again, you got both sides of the proverbial coin here. You got, in this case, Republican representatives, and now I think I need to put this out there, that you've heard me say it in many of the live streams, and every live stream that I highlighted in those slides in the beginning of this conversation. The link to all of those is in the description of this live stream. If you haven't watched them, I would appreciate it if you go watch them. It'll give you a lot of background. And in those live streams, I try to like link everything together because, the news doesn't always hit all at once. It's usually a slow stream of information. And, by the time you get to the latest piece of information, you are forgot about that first piece of information. So I try very much to pull it all together for you. And that's why I have all the links to those live streams in the description of this live stream. So go ahead and check those out. There's a lot of hopefully good information out there for you. But so here you go. Just to what I was saying, I know this right here is talking about a Republican representative making a statement about the overturning of this particular SIB 121. And I think Republican, Democrat doesn't matter. Matter of fact, in the overturning of this, I forgot how many, but a good number of Democrats came over to support the see you later of this. And so I really do believe that overall our government is just two wings of the same bird. So this is not partisan politics. To me, it's more vote for the person who's going to do the job that most aligns with my values. It's my vote, my values, right? So anyway, and then you've got the sitting president, or whoever's doing the sitting president's job, because it ain't him, is sitting there. Did you see? I don't like getting political, but did you see the latest thing out on Twitter where he's talking about wanting to debate Donald Trump and basically calling Donald Trump out? You can tell that they did multiple takes for this because, like, I'm sure they had to like inject him with all kind of adrenaline or whatever in order to get him to even talk. But it's kind of funny. It's kind of hilarious. And go watch it. I'm not going to show it here, and I'm not going to link to it here, but I just think I thought it was hilarious. This guy seriously has a problem walking, never mind talking. But anyway, so then you've got the sitting president threatening to veto. So, you've got the people who are supposed to be making the laws, Congress, doing their job, and the president saying, screw you, it doesn't fit with my agenda, I'll veto it. So that is one of the latest pieces that we've seen in the news recently. And Chris is Biden doesn't need to change his pants. He wears diapers. Good point. Good point. And yeah, I guarantee that's 100% true. But anyway, and again, links to what I'm about to show you right here. I mentioned the Digital Chamber of Commerce a little bit ago, and it link to them. If you don't follow them and have not visited their website and their various social media outlets, you really need to do that. And they are very much our advocates on a federal level when it comes to this anti-crypto legislation, where they have been, lobbying members of Congress and working hard to make sure that whatever gets put forward is common sense crypto regulation and is very much, pro crypto. And I know a lot of people that, are more Bitcoin maxi. And again, I got nothing against that. In the DCA portfolio every Friday night, 15 of the $25 goes to Bitcoin because, again, I think it's leading the way. And it makes sense to DCA into Bitcoin. But they do it at a more generic level because it's most people, most legislators, most, people who are going to be approving these laws, signing these laws, etc., want to do it in a kind of like, if you would, tech neutral nature. So it's about the technology, not necessarily the individual whatever, or in this case, Bitcoin, for that matter. Mike says we should be concerned about what is happening with crypto globally, because governments will take ideas from other countries if those countries' measures work. And Mike brings up a good point here. And kind of part of why I wanted to put together this particular live stream. And because he's right. And fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know. But a lot of these governments take their lead from the United States, which is how these various three-letter agencies can extend their long arm of the law into various jurisdictions to deal or attempt to regulate, fine, whatever, these various exchanges, coders, etc. So Mike's point is valid, but in order to, in my opinion, okay, again, this is my opinion, in order to do that, so to work globally, I think it has to start locally. And again, locally, state, and referring to the United States, local, state, federal, and then try to get those entities and the federal level to help to influence other jurisdictions, other countries, etc. Again, my humble opinion. We know I'm humble, and we know I have lots of opinions. And TCB in the house. Appreciate you being here, sir. Thank you. I know it's busy. I appreciate the fact that you even made it to the live chat. Welcome, sir. And he says they will, though on the other side of the coin, any bad actions taken by some nation states will serve to be benchmarks for those that have something to gain from embracing them. Truer words. Truer words. I got nothing to add to that. I think Brian, puts it right there, right there. And Brian, he's 100 Air just shot you a question. Any streams or other videos coming up? So I'll leave you guys to discuss that in the chat. Anyway, so again, we saw the defeat of that bill. So you've got the sitting president basically looking to get this bill defeated and out of the way. Guys, I know this is a live stream and I apologize, but I have to step away for 1 minute. I will be right back. I am sorry. I was hoping somebody else would be on here right now to kind of hold my water for a second if I had to do this. I'm going to mute my mic for 1 second. Bear with me. I'll be back in like 30 to 60 seconds. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm trying to hang on 1 second. I may have to step away 1 more second. I'll let you know in a second. I may have to step away for in a second, guys. So I apologize. And anyway, let me in the meantime. Yeah, that Bailey's is kicking in. No, I wish it was the Bailey's. Unfortunately, no. And no, that's not the issue either. It isn't a me issue, unfortunately. I am gonna have to step away. Sorry. 1 moment, guys. I appreciate you guys. I truly do. And thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Family issues going on. I knew they might happen while I was live today, which is again why I was hoping I would have some people here to kind of help hold the water, if you would. But hopefully at this point, they're taken care of. And yeah. All right. I'm just looking at the live chat. I don't want to miss anything per se. And then, okay, so I just showed you about that bill. And now, literally right after Biden decided to talk about vetoing this, you had Cynthia Lummis, who is a great advocate. Matter of fact, let me, how about that? There we go. A great advocate for the crypto space. If you don't follow her, if you're on Twitter or whatever, or her other socials, you don't follow her, you really should. Again, great advocate for cryptocurrency, great advocate for Bitcoin in particular, and always looking to have common sense cryptocurrency regulation in place here in the United States. We need more like her in the Senate. And again, part of like why vote Deaton, get Elizabeth Warren the frig out of there with regard to, excuse me, regard to the Senate. But the point is, not only did we see the bill pass to overturn that, then we got the president saying, screw you, I'm going to veto it. And then right after that, you got a Senator Lummis coming saying, we're not going to let you do that, basically. So, yeah, sorry, right here in this quote, let's bring it up. Maybe you can see it a little better. We will not allow the administration to regulate tools for financial freedom out of existence, which is what they're trying to do. It's what they're trying to do. Let's be honest. Let's be honest, right? I mean, you know what? I was going to go through a couple of other things, but already, partially thanks to me having to step away. So again, I apologize for that. We're already 46 minutes in. So I apologize that's going on. I'm just checking. They're having the microphone conversation in the chat. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody's comments about what I'm sitting here rambling on about. But anyway, so now where else are we seeing this? You know, for the first time in forever in presidential politics here in the United States, we have seen and continue to see active presidential candidates and former presidential candidates advocate for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. That is a humongous step forward. Personally, I think Vivek Ramaswamy was probably the most vocal candidate with regard to Bitcoin in particular and cryptocurrency. He has dropped out of the race since, obviously, after that first debate, and has been supporting through all his support behind President Trump. The other candidate that has been on a lot of crypto-related podcasts and crypto-related seminars and that kind of thing has been RFK Jr. He's talked about a number of things like, using Bitcoin to potentially help to stabilize the US dollar, about no taxes for, I think it was Bitcoin mining, something like that. So basically out there, and in a somewhat positive light for the cryptocurrency space. And to those, like I said, Vivek has gone and worked with Trump here. And 100 Airs jumping in. I like Vivek because he could speak about anything without pause. Amen. That's the truth. I agree. I like him. Very smart, very articulate guy. And talking about crypto and hell, not just crypto, pretty much anything, like you said, and be able to speak on it intelligently. It just, yeah, he was good. But now you have, in my opinion, him in Trump's ear, because I mean, the presumed front runner in the Republican race is Trump. And I'm going to just bring up a article here because I guess Trump had a soundbite where he says Trump, and I don't necessarily agree with this headline. I think it's a bit misleading. Trump backs U.S. crypto industry. He says, I'm good with it. Okay. And ultimately, that's about what he said about it. It was not the most resounding, what's the word I want? Plug for the cryptocurrency space. But he has been more friendly to it, if you would, because again, I think Vivek is in his ear and telling him how good this is. But let's be honest. I mean, Trump is old school, and he's He's made his money with the US dollar, utilizing the various loopholes to continue to maintain that wealth, etc. And again, I got no issues with that. I think you should pay the very least that you're legally obliged to pay, but you know, pay your damn taxes. I keep saying it all the time. And yeah. All right, so there's that. And you know, the other thing is, Trump's no newcomer to blockchain and cryptocurrency. Let's be honest. I mean, he's delved into things like NFTs, if you recall. I mean, he ended up selling NFTs, yeah, the Trump related meme coins lead the market, etc. Blah blah blah. And there is a Trump coin out there, by the way, which I don't know that necessarily has anything to do with him per se, but he has done different NFT things that he's done on the blockchain. And guess what? So again, I would say he's one of those maybe lukewarm to it kind of guys, kind of politicians. And the fact that he has someone that's younger, more versed, and able to advocate well for it in his ear in the form of Vivek, I think is also a positive thing, regardless how you decide you're going to vote. Although then you had, again, speaking of politics, then you had Charles Hoskinson, you know, from Cardano, basically doing an entire, I think it was a live stream about a vote for Biden is basically a vote against cryptocurrency. And not for nothing, he isn't wrong. He certainly isn't wrong. Anyway, oh, sorry. And yeah, so again, politics, and no one has put in yes if this is if crypto is going to be one of your points to decide who you're going to vote for in this chat. So I'll ask again, if crypto is going to be one of those points that you utilize to decide who you're going to vote for, throw it in there. Yes. If it's not, put no. I don't care either way. I'm impromptu poll here. And if you're watching this after the live stream, put it in the comments. I would appreciate that very much. So so that's basically it in a nutshell. I really do believe that 2024 is going to be an election cycle where this cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, is going to be one of those topics that is going to at least affect some people with regard to how and who they vote for. I just do. And yeah, okay. Appreciate that. Yeah, I know it is for me, and I gotta say, I really think it will be for a lot of other people as well. I'm gonna put this up on the screen real quick because again, I know I have a a good number of people who watch from Massachusetts, and you got a Senate race coming up, which is going to be a hotly contested Senate race. And you have John Deaton as the option to remove Elizabeth Warren from that Senate seat. And if you are even remotely interested in cryptocurrency, even if like that's just a small blip on your radar, I mean, let's be honest, there's a whole bunch of other issues that you could seriously get rid of Elizabeth Warren for, such as, you know, went from fighting the banks to siding with the banks. But let's not get way off topic here. You have another option. Someone who isn't afraid to put his information and opinions out there, who isn't afraid to talk on a topic in the form of John Deaton. And again, if you are a cryptocurrency advocate, you want John Deaton. I mean, this is the guy who put the amicus brief together again for the Ripple case, etc. I'm just trying to check this out. One of my big questions is for someone in the US, what sort of loss of financial privacy and freedom will you have to endure until sensible policies is in place? Great question, TCB. Great question. Part of why I made sure that we talked about some of that way in the beginning. It is very, in my opinion, important to have not only online privacy, personal privacy, the ability to keep private your PII, personal identifying information, but financial privacy. How can you not have financial privacy and be able to succeed and support your family and just survive? Hence my Living on Crypto series. Go check that out. TCB brings up a great question and 1000% right with asking that question. 100 Air Deaton met his threshold to be officially listed as a candidate. Yes, he did. He did post a video about that on X. Yes, you are correct. That was a recent thing, I think within the last 2 days, maybe. And I was glad to see that, although honestly, I thought that had already happened because not for nothing. I mean, I blink. There are, again, having family in Massachusetts, that kind of thing. I know that there are many people, a good number of people, who just can't stand what's going on, not only with the FJB administration, but within the state of Massachusetts and the representation that Massachusetts has on the federal level. So the fact that he was able to easily get the necessary signatures to get on the ballot, to me, is a no-brainer. But yes, that did just happen. 100 Air, you are correct. Thanks for throwing that out there. And TCB following up with, that's the biggest concern I have these days. And you're right too. You are 100% right to have that concern. I mean, let's be honest. Let me do that. Because guess what? If we don't have financial autonomy, we're just under the thumb of the government, right? Which is why I keep saying you need to know how to live outside of the system, how to utilize cryptocurrency for what it was meant to be used for before you need to use it. Before you need to use it. And yes, having financial privacy is a huge, huge importance. 100 Air saying, I think the implementation of CBDC will cause an uprising by taxpayers. I would like to think so. But I don't know. We've become a very, what's the word I want? Placid society. It's actually disgusting, quite frankly. Cheers. Now I wish I did have something in here. But to your point, did you see the news coming out of Cuba this morning? That the central bank has basically collapsed. And he's correcting me, flaccid. Thank you. Appreciate that, 100 Air. That's correct. And basically, people can't get money out of the ATMs, long lines at ATMs, banks are closed, basically for their financial system. At least is what I'm getting. It's barely being covered currently by mainstream media. I guess AP put a little bit out about it, or at least the last I saw, it was kind of a developing thing as I was getting ready for this live stream. But to 100 Air's point, Cuba. If you're, I think you're on Twitter. If you go to my profile, I shared a couple of the accounts that was going on. If you go to my profile, you'll see that information there. But to the point of what 100 Air is saying about the implementation of CBDCs, if that's truly what's happening there, and that's not made up or any of that kind of stuff, which I don't notice, or I haven't noticed or heard about yet, then you know what? What's the next logical step? How do they maintain control? Where do they go from here? Governments, I'm referring to. CBDCs, obviously. And Mike is chiming in as well here. If you notice, the government justification for implementing laws or rules is always the same: tax fraud and money laundering. You're right. They're here to protect us, except they never fucking protect us. Okay. Yeah. We got to protect everybody. We got to stop the terrorists and the child traffickers and the this and the that and all the bad, nasty words. And listen, I am not against any of that. Yes, do your job, but don't take away my freedom while you're doing your job. Because let's be honest, you're not stopping them with what you're implementing here, especially in the cryptocurrency space, because by a factor of like 1,000, these people use the US dollar, not crypto, because you can track crypto. Hell, these major terrorist organizations say, please don't send us crypto. And the ones in power are the ones who practice it the most. Yeah, exactly, Mike. Exactly. And part of why I think, these next few, and it's funny, I just see 100 Air put it in there. Good for thee, not for me, Congress. And you want to know what? If you that is literally my next live stream on Monday, is about rules for thee, not for me, with regard to Congress and the government, and surrounding this whole roaring kitty and how they're stopping the whole GME thing. And yet, Congress uses insider trading every single freaking day to make themselves millionaires. So it's kind of funny you put that in there. I know that probably wasn't your point, but I just kind of funny, 100 Air, that you put that in there. And so with that, let's wrap that up and tell you that is what I've got slated for Monday's live stream currently, bar some reason to change the topic for whatever reason. But I figured I wanted to see a little bit how the rest of this GME AMC thing played out for the rest of this week, and then talk about it on Monday, and contrast it to what's going on with Congress and with Congress and how they can do basically what it is that they want to do. However, if we try to do something like that, we just get slapped around, put in jail, whatever. Anyway, so that's Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern time on this channel. Don't forget, Friday, 7 p.m., Crypto on the Rocks. Appreciate you being there. Casual conversation. You guys come on. You can lead the conversation, whatever it is you want to talk about. Don't forget, you get to vote what we're going to dollar cost average into. This first half, 2024, is Web3 P2E. So you get to vote. Couple more weeks with changing it over. It looks like I might go with a lot of Deaton. I'm still putting it together. You guys are going to vote to what we're going to have in the next half, the second half, 2024 crypto DCA portfolio. So stay tuned and join me Friday, 7 p.m. for that. That's pretty much what I got coming right now. And 100 Air is saying, seriously, Kramer can go on TV and tell us what to buy or sell, but a person posts a meme and it's market manipulation. Facts, right? Facts. 1,000% facts. And Automatic Beats, awesome stream. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. But yeah, that's it. I'm at over an hour now, so I'm gonna wrap this thing up. I appreciate everybody that was here. I appreciate everybody checking in and interacting in the live chat. Truly, I do, and appreciate it. Mike, yes, thank you to everybody who was there. Don't forget, if you haven't already done so on your way out, smash up that like button. I still got a couple of people on Facebook. Thumbs up, please. Appreciate that. And again, if you're new, hit that subscribe button, tick that bell icon, click the all, and you'll get notified every time I go live, every time I put out a great video, and even community posts. I got a couple of community posts coming up on Sunday. So make sure that you check that out. Yes, thank you to everybody. TCB, nice hanging out. Yes, appreciate you being here, my friend. Again, I always appreciate your your input. I'm glad you were able to at least be here on the live chat. Thanks, man. All right, everybody, I'm out. Have a great day. I hope the rest of your week goes well, and I will see you Friday night.